Art competitions are getting worse, and apparently anyone could stand a shot at winning without potentially making any valid art, but by stealing multiple spots from actual hard-working artists and forcing them out of the competition. Yay! Art competitions. An organized group of contests that present artists with ambitious tasks while competing between each other for either petty cash or a sweet cushioned seat in the spotlight of fame on the social media pages of the well-meaning organizers of the competition. While some so-called art competitions do well to elevate the winners to greater heights in their art journey, or at least set them up for a little slice of the pie, which in this case happens to be the unstable art industry, some other competitions pay little to no regard for the actual artists laboring away at their drawing desks, trying to make a drawing worthy of them being noticed. For those of you who are not up to date with the rather fast-paced art community drama, well, grab a seat because you might want to sit down for this one. It's going to ruffle your feathers a bit. Pokemon TCG, which stands for Trading Card Game, announced their annual art competition where they invited Pokemon fans and artists alike to create fan art of their favorite Pokemon characters to celebrate the 27th anniversary of the Pokemon brand, with the theme for this year's contest being Magical Pokemon Moments, which surely sounds exciting for both fans of the franchise who happen to be artists and every other artist regardless of their skill level. These contests let us see wonderful illustrations brought to life and new talents brought to light. This year's contest has Magical Pokemon Moments as its theme, and we are accepting submissions from Japan, United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. We can't wait to see what incredible and exciting artwork you will come up with. The competition offered pretty decent prizes for everyone who decided to compete in the tournament, and according to the award section of the official website, the grand prize winner takes home a whopping $5,000 and stands a chance of having their work featured as official promo art for one of their cards. The second place position receives a cash value of $3,000 and also grants awards to both the best standard card illustration winner and X card illustration winner, while having both of their images featured as promotional material for one of their cards. And for third place, 6 runners-up each get to receive $1,000 for participating in the competition, and 15 artists get to be chosen for the Judges Award where they each received $500 for participating in the competition. Sounds like a pretty amazing prize pool if you ask me. You receive some money for drawing one of your favorite Pokemon, and you get the sweet chance to brag to your friends that your art is being used on a Pokemon card. A potential win-win situation if you ask me. With everything looking all blissful on the horizon, what could ever possibly go wrong? 2 weeks ago, Pokemon announced they had selected their top 300 entries and were closing down on finalizing the winners of the competition. And what do you know? One particular artist's name happened to show up 6 times on 6 different pieces, all submitted in the same competition. And to make matters worse, the artist, which we'll get to in a second, submitted images that all had a similar feeling to them and looked rather questionable. Oh dear God, I hope it's not what everyone's thinking. I will confidently say that there's AI artwork in these finalists. Vegan K has multiple submissions under different names but the same initials, and he has taken away spots from real artists who deserve to be on here. Shame on the Pokemon judges for not realizing this. It looks like several Gen AI art submissions, likely from a single person, got through to the final round. Really ought to be disqualified. So why are you letting people violate the max entry rule so blatantly and with entries that are very likely AI generated? Shocking. Vegan Cachadorian, who will refer to as Vegan K or VK moving forward in this video, submitted 6 or more paintings to the pool of art in the competition, and his images somehow managed to stand out curiously to everyone who saw them for very obvious reasons. The paintings they submitted seemed rather polished and well finished compared to the other paintings and drawings that had been submitted by other artists, with lighting and color that could only be achieved by very skilled veteran artists or generative AI that had been trained off very skilled artists. And in one of the images, one of the characters looked rather simple and didn't have the same level of detail and quote-unquote care the other parts of the image had. An artist submitting to the same competition with different art styles in the same image is an interesting concept if you ask me. Of course, this is not to say that artists are not to draw in one or two different art styles, but jumping from a fully detailed Bob Ross painting to a drawing that looks pretty much simple and out of place makes your painting look rather questionable. Another artist pointed out that the image might have potentially been traced since the Pokemon in the back casually lined up word for word, bar for bar with another drawing from a different artist altogether. Talk about stealing from multiple sources. Gotta catch 'em all, right? Artists immediately started taking note of the paintings and the irregularities going on within them, calling out the artist for blatantly using AI to try and win the art contest. The Pikachu Stadium piece is the most telling one. The background and the audience have an unusual blurry abstraction. AI images are not smart enough to generate clear or detailed backgrounds. Humans can wrap our brains around what backgrounds are supposed to be and can make clearer environments. As with most AI art, the background is the giveaway. The lights in the stadium are all different sizes, with weird angles and no real coherence to their organization. The paneling above the lights is composed of multiple jagged shapes with no pattern or relationship between each one. The people in the stadium are faceless and shapeless blobs. The screens in the upper level above the people also have jagged shapes and formless figures on them. It's hard to prove all of these in one reply, but to start, this Pikachu is probably the most obvious. One key way to spot AI art is inconsistency, and none of these stadium lights or crowd members have any consistency to them. I'm not super talented, but even I can make box lights straight. Kat Liente, a fellow colleague at the office of YouTube Yapping, also made a really good video talking about the situation, and in her video she went through each of the images, scrutinizing every tiny pixel in detail and pointed out all the obvious telltale signs that the images Vegan K submitted were definitely made using AI.
Okay, I'm just gonna point out a few aspects of this person's art as to why it makes it AI. Or the first one is Eevee's tail just melting into the clouds. This is a mistake that AI tends to make because when AI elements overlap, AI gets confused and will bleed one thing into another. Like when AI was probably trying to draw the sky and then was also trying to add the Eevee tail and it blended the two together like this. The second one is the random lines on Eevee's face. I'm guessing AI was trying to show that Eevee's underwater by adding like the water reflections. You know how water kind of has like a little like blobby shape to it and it will reflect from the sunlight onto the face. And then there's just like instead just streaks, like a bunch of spaghetti on Eevee's face. This Eevee piece, like I said before, AI has a tendency when things overlap with other elements to bleed the two together because AI cannot, distinguish the two. An example or two examples is the cherry blossoms touching the ears, right? When the cherry blossom flows across Eevee, it flows across the ears. There's no line work now for this cherry blossom. It just bleeds into the line work of the ear. Same with this cherry blossom, right? It looks like Eevee's ear has a big pimple on it. Except I'm sure this is supposed to be a cherry blossom leaf. But an artist with this level of skill, an artist who is capable of drawing in a fisheye perspective, which is a very difficult perspective to draw in, would probably not draw the cherry blossom leaf like this. They would either shift it upwards so it doesn't intersect with the ear, or remove it entirely so it doesn't intersect with the ear, or fully line it so that like you can separate the cherry blossom leaf from the ear. And then we have their Pikachu artwork, which is the biggest offender of bad reflections over here. It is almost like they're doing like a one-to-one flip of the reflection, but there should be some sort of distortion to it. And also, oddly though, they drew the reflection for Pikachu, and then they drew the reflection for one foot and one of his hips, but not the other foot. Over here, is this a rock? Is this a snail? And then the biggest one again, the same error that always happens in AI artwork is the hands. If we look at Pikachu's hands, this Pikachu has 3 fingers and a thumb. This Pikachu has the right hand is a little off, and then the hand just bleeds into the face. There's just a line here that I think AI was supposed to try to like make the arm continue upwards, but the arm starts down here, so it just gave up and failed. AI, again, has a tendency to use 1,000 random but very, very similar colors. Look at the cheeks of this Pikachu, how one cheek is coral, but one cheek is actually red. This is a very orangey color, but this is a very pinkish red. And then Pikachu's drooling. for some reason. And yeah, the water on the ears are weird. Look at this one.
It's a really good video, and she goes on further to talk about how to differentiate between real art and AI art, leaving you well informed with all the information you need to differentiate between the two. So definitely go give her video a watch after this and subscribe to the channel telling her you came from here. I'll leave a link to her channel in the description. A lot of artists were outraged about this and were questioning why the organizers of the competition allowed people to submit art that was made using AI in an art competition that was clearly asking for hand-drawn illustrations. On the art submission guidelines, they clearly state that each participant is allowed to submit 3 pieces of art, which could either be 3 different Pokemon or the same one. So clearly Vegan K has broken one rule right off the bat. That's 1 strike already, buddy. This isn't looking too good, buddy. Although the rules don't specifically say contestants shouldn't use AI for their art, since they were not expecting people to be that down bad in all manner of creativity, but this bit here could possibly cover the use of other artwork and intellectual properties, since it says your art must not contain material that violates or infringes another's rights, including but not limited to material that violates privacy, publicity, or intellectual property rights, or that constitutes copyright infringement, which basically means you cannot use another person's intellectual property in your work as long as it violates copyright laws. Submissions must not include third-party trademarks, logos, insignia, location signage, photographs, artwork, or sculptures, except those of the sponsors, which is Pokemon. Submissions must not include any reference to or performance of any copyrighted media production, including but not limited to books, articles, photographs, artwork, music, etc., or identifying descriptions of any media property. So this kinda technically covers the use of AI and other AI generative media, since, well, obviously it's pulling from multiple sources, which are both artwork and other media, and therefore breaking the rules of the competition. 2 more strikes for our poor Vegan K. Definitely breaking the rules there, my boy. This also brings up an interesting and pretty important thing to consider moving forward for every arts competition coming up. Please be sure to specify in the rules if AI art is allowed or not. The latter will be very much more preferred, but if in the case that AI art is allowed, gosh, I hope it isn't, it shouldn't be in the same category with other actual artists. Instead, gather all the AI prompt bros, put them in one category and let them battle it out with words and prompts and whatever else it is they use to make their images, and may the best writer win, since it clearly can't be considered as actually making art. It definitely isn't fair at all putting artists against people that are using AI to make art, since one is being judged for their creativity while the other is being judged based off of the creativity of other artists and not theirs, which is genuinely why situations like this arise. And now all the other artists who made amazing drawings and paintings are pushed out of the competition because this person took all the spots they could have filled with their work. Am I disappointed that a bunch of Gen AI submissions essentially stole spots from hardworking artists in the Pokemon TCG art contest? Yes, very. Am I surprised? Nope. This is why artists have been vocal about this. Opportunities are actively being taken from actual artists. I spent hours and pushed myself out of my comfort zone for my entry for this bullshit. I think it's hilarious the AI bros are trying to defend the integrity of the use of AI here too, as if the entrant's lack of integrity shines in submitting under 4 different names and violating several sections of the contest terms and conditions for entry. I hope they kick that person out. He took 6 spaces that belong to actual artists.
So I'm looking at the illustration contest 2024 round 1 top 300, like, because I submitted an artwork here, right? Very beautiful artwork from these artists. Congrats on y'all. But I have a problem with this dude. At first, if you look at it, just like quick glance, you might think, oh, very pretty. But see, this dude uses AI. The style is inconsistent, except this Vaporeon. I think he draw on his own, like he just added. You can see the Vaporeon here as well. But like, dude, how do you go from this to like this and to this and to this? Like, it does not make sense. You can see the face changing constantly. Like, dude, what is the point of this line here? Like, hello? It does not make sense. Like, what is this? What's scary about all this is that the directors of the Pokemon company let all 4 of these artworks slide. Like, they did not know that this was like all AI generated. So that's a huge problem towards the Pokemon company, because it's just unfair for the artists who actually worked hard, who actually submitted their artwork. And all this dude did was just submit his AI submissions. This dude submitted 4 of his AI generated like pieces, and all of these could have been different artists. All of this could have been different artists. Like, can you believe that? The audacity of this man in general. Okay, so here's how to help. Maybe help the artist whose spot got taken. Support.pokemon.com. You go to this website and type in your email, first name, last name, subject, description. Basically, you want to address the problem going on with the Pokemon Illustration Contest 2024 and report the artist, Rigo K, all 4 of them. Included as much details as you can, just so the Pokemon company will become aware of this, because it somehow slid under their nose 4 times. I don't even know how, but yeah. So I would appreciate it very much, and the artists out there who actually participate in the contest would appreciate it. Appreciate it too. Thank you.
Well, it appears the organizers of the competition have been listening to the feedback from the art community, and they posted an update to clear up the speculations people were having about the situation. We are aware that select entrants from the top 300 finalists of the Pokemon Tag Illustration Contest 2024 have violated the official contest rules. As a result, entrants in violation of the rules have been disqualified from the contest. Phew, thank God. That was a rather close one, my brothers and sisters in art. A rather close one indeed. Furthermore, additional artists participating in the contest will soon be selected to be among the top 300 finalists. We're committed to upholding the integrity of Pokemon TCG Illustration Contest and appreciate the fans' continued support as we celebrate the artistic abilities of the talented Pokemon community. Well, that's definitely comforting news and seems like a step in the right direction for them. So far, the results haven't been updated yet, as the organizers probably have to sieve through all the submissions and disqualify the numerous entries that were possibly made using AI, since I'm guessing there's probably other submissions that were also made using AI aside from Vegan K, so I'm sure the judges have their hands full as we speak. I'm really glad they took the bold step to actually listen to the fans and try and fix the results, since there were so many artists with amazing art who submitted their work in the competition but didn't get picked because of people like Vegan K and possibly others stealing their spots with a pile of crap. So that's a collective thumbs up to the organizers from us. Well, looks like you've made it to the end of this video. If you enjoyed this video, please leave it a like, share the video with a friend, and subscribe to the channel if you're new here. I'll see all you pretty penguins in the next video. Bye.